Welcome to episode 251 of the Mighty Whites podcast. I'm Jack, as always, joined by Casey.
Alan, how are we doing?
I'm pretty good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not so bad, Tar.
I mean, it's easier to be in a good mood after a result like that on Tuesday. Even by our standards, we're going for lack of prep. Last time, it was because we're having to rush through it. This time, it's because I've been home for 7 minutes. We'll just get straight into the game because there's nothing really else to talk about. Swansea away is the sort of game that you come into it. We all went for a win. But, you're going into it thinking it could be a bit tricky, this, and it really wasn't.
No, I was surprised at how poor they were. And I probably shouldn't have been, having looked at their results this season, but there was so little about them. Just defensively, it's one of those words I really hate using, but you were just watching them going, this is just naive at this point. You're doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, like Leeds were excellent, but it is fair to say Swansea were terrible. Somehow they managed to be like high up the pitch, but without actually pressing. So there was loads of room in behind for our quick players to run into. And somehow, despite all that, there was loads of room in the middle of the park. And I'm actually not sure how they've managed to do that. I just as a spatial problem, I don't see how that's possible.
I think there was that moment in the second half when Meslier had it on the edge, like just outside his box, and there was sort of the two attackers there waiting to activate the press, and then Gruev was just sort of stood 5 yards back in between them. Meslier passed it to him, and he just turned and played it over the halfway line, and you were just like, "What is this?"
That's not pressing. That's just standing far forward.
it was bizarre. Yeah, that's what it's like when the press doesn't work.
Yeah, because Luke Williams did so well at that county, he hadn't been there long. I'm willing to give him time to get his. I'd be thinking give him some time to get his ideas across, but that very much looked like he's got 10% of it in, and that 10% is the starting position.
Yeah,
and nothing else. They were awful. 4-0, if any. I'm sure XG wise, it was probably about right, but
yeah,
it was one of them games where it could easily have been 6 or 7. Like, it isn't just that we missed a couple of chances. There was also a couple of breaks where we had 5-on-4 and 4-on-3 and didn't do what we.
Yeah, there was a good couple of. I mean, anytime we got in behind, and it was fairly easy to get in behind. We had a good couple of chances where we just seemed to play the ball from 40 yards out, and we were in behind their defence.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice bright start. It was just easy.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll be a bit chronological about the first goal. Obviously, it always helps when you get an early goal, and Leeds got one in the 8th minute. Ball got recycled. Rutter does a little bit of a trick to flick it past someone. Gruev just ball into some of those feet. There's loads to do from that position, but they just sort of stand off him and kind of let him have a shot. And then the deflection comes. And the deflection itself is a bit unlucky, but the amount of time that they gave him just to shift it out of his feet and have the shot. And when you looked at it from behind, it was actually quite a good shot. It looked pretty well destined for far corner before it took the deflection. And another one for Somerville, I think that's 16 for the season.
What? Yeah, 16, and what do we say? 22 goal contributions or something like that.
I think it was 16 and 6 before this game, maybe 16. But obviously, he gets another assist later in this game. Yeah. But it's always good. Whenever Leeds have that goal scoring start, you fancy it's not just we haven't lost one from a winning position. We haven't lost having scored the first goal all season, have we? But we always just seem to play better as well when there's an early goal. And in this one, we got that. And you're thinking, right, we're in a good position. And literally 2 minutes later, Leeds break with Peru, who came in for Bamford, who picked up a knock. I don't think it's yet been said about what's actually up with Bamford.
It was he was going for a scan on his knee, if I remember rightly. But again, they were kind of not speculating anything about it.
Yeah. Peru plays out to Nonto, carries on his run. Nonto gives him it back. Good touch out of his feet. Hits it on his right foot, which is a weak foot. Hits it really hard, but if Meslier conceded that goal, you'd be pissed off with Meslier.
Like
once the keeper hasn't overcommitted early, it looked like one he should save.
He's just hit it really hard.
Yeah,
that's all you have to do. It's absolutely fine.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're gonna not be right in the corner, hitting it with a load of power helps. And I was glad to see Peru get one because it can't harm the confidence, and you never know if Bamford's not going to be 100% this weekend. You're going to need him coming in, so it'll help with that. He's played against Swansea twice this season, scored in both of them, which is always good. And basically, at that point, game was done. 10 minutes in.
Yeah, it was. It was over as a contest there and then. We're going to come back to it over and over again, but just everything about how they were set up just all seemed counterproductive to each other. I suppose, if in theory, if you're pressing, you probably have a high line, but there was a load of lads stood watching the ball, sort of leaning forward as if they were about to run, and then they wouldn't, and Leeds would just play their way up the pitch quite easily.
The ease with which we played his way through, like in the build-up to that second goal, before Peru gets it, Joe Rodon basically dribbles out of defence. There is someone sort of chasing him down. It's not great chasing down, but there is someone putting pressure on him. But Rodon just brings it out and from centre-back, plays what is a very good pass right through to Peru. But the room, like there's the fact that passing lane is completely open and Peru is able to just control it, it does a bit well for them. But a lot of it is Leeds being good as well. There's other things like Leeds' best, what was probably the best chance of the game, and we didn't score. Swansea take an awful short corner, pass it to Glenn Kamara. Leeds break through to Somerville. Somerville finds Nonto, who has all the time in the world. And I think at the last minute, he tries to change which corner he's going into because he's seen the keeper starting to go one way and just ends up hitting it straight down the middle. But that again, we had 3-on-1 through on goal again.
It was. I know it comes from a corner, but it's Somerville, Nonto, and Peru sprinting forward against a single Swansea centre back.
Yeah,
and we're still 35 yards from goal.
Yeah.
It was. It was just great because any time they committed numbers forward, we just seemed to be able to counter-attack so easily against them.
Yeah, we are. Leeds aside, the way that it's set up, it is a very strong counter-attacking unit. So I can understand us having a lot of joy in it, but I could not believe how much joy we had. We were laughing watching the game, weren't we? Because we couldn't quite believe how easy it was. The third goal eventually came. I say eventually, it's on 35 minutes. Archie Gray has the ball. I think it's Peru makes a run in behind, and they actually do manage to put a bit of pressure on. So Gray stops for a second and turns, and then Willie Nonto starts making a run, and no one moves. No one closes down Archie Gray, who has the ball. No one tracks Nonto. He just clips over the top. It's a very good pass. Nonto runs through, cuts inside his man. Really good finish on his left foot into the bottom corner. Nonto is starting to look happy, isn't he, again? Really, this last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and not unsurprisingly, given he's now back in the team, but it's the I don't have to try my absolute bollocks off to make something happen now. Now he's just part of that attacking unit, as you said, and it's just coming naturally. I don't know. Ideally for him, he's probably still wanting to play off the left, but he's starting to look a lot more comfortable playing on that right hand side.
Yeah, definitely. And this was a really good finish as well on his left foot, keeper rooted to the spot right in the corner. And the game is done at that point. Second half was a bit quieter, but we still looked far more likely. The second half was where they did have their one good chance, which was cross to the back post, knocked down. and they skied the volley over. We only half saw that because it was when Sky were having their issues.
Yes.
Sky TV, fucking shit.
Took them about 10 minutes to get the graphic up saying we are experiencing technical difficulties.
It took about 8 minutes for the commentator to acknowledge, "Oh, sorry if you are seeing some picture difficulties." No, it's not our telly.
It was starting to give me a headache. It was awful.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'd love to say it was my brainwave. I checked Twitter and someone said, "Hey, put it on the channel." I think it was 856, but
put it in standard definition.
Yeah, this isn't HD. This is just D. But and the picture wasn't great, but it was a lot better than the kaleidoscope we were watching the game through before. And as it goes, the timing of it was fairly good because we got it on. Swansea playing the ball through midfield, go to play a ball back to the defender, overhit it. Somerville gets there first, sprints within the defender. Good little through ball for Nonto, who takes a really good touch and also a clever touch because it takes him across the defender so he can't do anything about it. And again, really good finish, just composed into the bottom corner. It's just such a good win. A game that could have been really tricky and you win it 4-0 away from home. And the attacker who has the most to prove, going into the game, Peru then coming in is a similar sort of thing. But you still probably say Nonto has the most to prove after everything this season. Gets 2 goals and an assist. On the day that Dan James comes back onto the bench. It couldn't have really gone much better.
No, it was... again, if you are nitpicking, the classic second half Leeds easing off is maybe a touch disappointing just because you've got plenty of players on the bench here. I think if you brought 2 on at half time and just sort of set them free, if you just put Joffrey and probably in this place Joffrey and Connor Roberts on.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Dan James came on for Nonto 73rd. Roberts for Gray and Joseph for Rutter was 77. Oh, the Anthony for Somerville was also 73, and then Gellart for Peru was 87. It probably was a little bit late, and it would have the Connor Roberts one especially because that was the one I was saying when we were watching the game. I know Archie Gray has been really good, but there is absolutely no reason not to give Connor Roberts 45 minutes here.
Yeah. Like you say, the game was done at half time. It would have needed some any given Sunday level team talk to
just Leeds v Cardiff. Well, that's what it needed.
Swansea get a man sent off.
Yeah,
really inspire them.
Yeah,
then there's a little crippled boy. I know, because I crippled him myself to inspire you. Matt Grimes goes in 2-footed afterwards just to...
oh, come on. Surely if you've just said that, grimy.
Well, yeah, grimy. Matt Grimy Grimes.
I just was staggered at how comfortable this was. And then, even though I'm still trying to not be the guy who's looking at other teams' results because it's so early, it is not possible to not look at Bristol City 3, Southampton 1. That helps.
Yes, very. Even in the 83rd minute, I was not willing to accept that was a Bristol win at that point. But yeah, good on you, lads. Well done for holding out. Done us a massive favour.
Still my least favourite city, probably in the country, but you've gone somewhere towards helping.
I mean, again, in the we are. I'm looking literally at the form of the last 5 games. We have won all of our last 5 games. No one else in the division has done that.
No, and it's 7 in a row now in the league. That.
Yeah, in the league, won every game since New Year's, haven't we?
Yeah, which is ridiculous going. Puts us actually honest to God second. I mean, Southampton and Ipswich do both have a game in hand, and they're 2 and 3 points behind respectively. We'll see what happens when they play the game in hand. Leeds do have a much better goal difference, though, which I know it only matters if you're level, but it is kind of like having that extra point if it comes to it. We are in a very good position. And if we play like this for the rest of the season, you have to feel quite confident. It's a huge if. Like, it's the championship. There's going to be a couple of weird results. There's always going to be. And, a Saturday 12:30 against a Plymouth side that you've played 3 times and massively outplayed 3 times sounds exactly like the sort of thing where you get that weird result.
Yeah.
But this today, right now, is by far the most confident I felt all season.
HMS Pistol League?
No, that's Leicester. Fair fucks to Leicester. No.
Just looking at the league table, the fixtures. So tomorrow it is West Brom and Southampton.
Oh, is that tomorrow night?
And that's West Brom have picked up a bit, not to the same degree that us and Southampton have been playing, but they've been playing all right.
Well, they've won 3 of the last 5, and it's at West Brom as well, isn't it? Matt?
I believe so.
Because that is the one thing that I haven't really been looking at much, but I've seen people talking about on Twitter. Basically, we have played, like, out of the top 10, we've played, I'm just glancing at this and I think it's right, we've played everyone away except for Coventry. Have we played all away? I can't remember.
Yes, that was,
it
was 0-0, red card at the end, wasn't it?
Roden, yeah. So, yeah, of the current top 10, we have played everyone away from home except for Cov. And I believe that, like, Southampton have still got at least, like, I think they've still got Leicester, Ipswich, I think have still got both. Obviously, they've got West Brom tonight. So I believe that if you were looking at, the strength of schedule that they have in a lot of American sports.
Yeah.
I think that we, at this point, ours looks easier. Not that it necessarily means out, but it is something to factor in. Like, I believe that we have now, even though they have that game in hand, I haven't actually checked the odds, but I would be willing to bet that we are now the second favourites for promotion.
I mean, it could...
yeah, we are. Leicester are 1-66. We're 10-11. Southampton 15-8. Ipswich 3-1.
If you dare to dream that results go our way, and I know we will. Southampton and Ipswich will still have the game. Ipswich are also away at Swansea.
I should cut you off and say Leeds should never dare to dream. We've been there.
Yeah, the lesson here is never dream. But if results go the right way, then all of a sudden, you've got 5 points on Southampton.
That would be very nice, wouldn't it?
I don't know, they would have a game in hand, but it's still it's controlling your own destiny.
Yeah,
manifest destiny. If
I was about to say exactly that.
Yeah.
They ran out of destiny to manifest and just went into Mexico. Yeah, that was really good. I was just trying to think if there was any particular players that I wanted to talk about. But basically, everyone was really good. Peru was a bit quieter than Bamford in terms of, like, you didn't see him as much running around, but that's just because they're different types of players. Peru was good. I do want to point out the thing. I think it was a Johnny Cooper stat. I have got it here. Glenn Kamara is the first midfielder Opta has on record to complete 95% plus of his passes in 7 consecutive championship appearances, which has 2 100% with Preston and Rotherham. Which is damn good.
Because I'm pretty sure Gruev was in the 90s as well.
Yeah.
It was quite nice, and my hope is, realistically, and I don't want this to become, if Peru is coming back into the team, I don't want it to revert back to why is Peru playing at 10, but it looked a lot better, and I assume it is because it's the late edition. You've prepped for the game in this way, so there is no sense moving Jorginho as well, but it just made more sense.
Yeah, the way around I would say it is, I think Peru starting deeper is probably marginally better for Peru than him actually leading the line as a 9. So maybe it's 5% worse with Peru at 9. But I reckon Rutter is 20% more effective starting deeper.
Yeah.
And the sum works better that way. Like in this game, yeah, there was no Rutter goal or assist. But, I mean, he could have had a couple quite easily. He should have had a penalty, which no one's really talked about because we won 4-0. But on that second chance where he went through, the guy has a right hold of his shirt and just wags him back. And if he doesn't get that shot away, they give the penalty.
It's the best rule, that.
Yeah.
He shot, so it can't be a foul.
Yeah, I've got it. I knew that I'd seen it. Gruev and Kamara have completed 785 out of 824 passes in the last 7 games. Combined, that's 95.3% in 7 games. And they have started 7... I think we've started 7 games together and we've won them all.
It's quite... We're good. Turns out Pascal Struijk was really holding us back.
Yeah. The problem is, I've read that on Twitter from people who aren't joking. Whereas, no, he's really good as well. I mean, I wouldn't bring him back in. You don't change this. But...
yeah. I mean, if you worry about people with those sorts of opinions, don't look into the new Leeds United writer at The Athletic's comments.
Oh, I can only imagine. The only thing that I have seen with that is there has been an article that I haven't yet read, and all I've done is follow her on Twitter because I assume that she will write something that I will want to. I mean, it's about some of them. I probably will want to read that. I just don't have time yet.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the sad reality of that was looking at that going, no one, the people who are commenting under Phil's tweet are not talking about the article.
No, but that's unfortunately just the way things are. What's my favourite quote, the George Carlin quote? Think how stupid the average person is, then remember that half of them are stupider than that.
Yeah.
Leeds now go to Plymouth. Again. Fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying... They will have a couple of players back from the cup game because they weren't quite at full strength.
They will be allowed Forshaw and JB.
They will be allowed Forshaw.
JB won't be.
JB's on loan, so he can't play.
Sorry, I was playing Football Manager last night and had 2 players playing against me that were on loan, but it was in the Champions League.
Ah, right, yeah, different rules. What, you forgot to Leeds in the Champions League? We should be hiring you. Oh, wait, no, everyone gets Leeds in the Champions League because this year it's the easiest Football Manager game in the world.
Yeah.
Sign no one, and you will get to 7th in the Premier League, at least. So, yeah, they're a bit... we've talked about them so recently. Like Barley Mumba's good on the ball and gets forward well out wide and will cause a bit of danger. Morgan Whittaker's a really good player. That Ashley Phillips at centre back looked really good for 98 minutes in the FA Cup and then got tired and looked crap for 20. Brendan Galloway's all right. They could be back 3 or back 4. They've changed between. I think they'll probably go back 3 against us with wing backs. So they can get like a front 3. They played a front 3 against Coventry and drew 2-2. Whittaker, Hardy and Alfie Devine played. There isn't really a great deal to say that we didn't say before. Connor Hazard's a decent keeper. We've been better than them the 3 times we've played them, so I don't see why this would be different. It'll probably be the toughest one we've had because they are a good side at home, and they'll probably put a bit more into this than they did the cup game. But
they will actually be able to show some sort of squad depth. I mean, they're 16th. They are there for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's not as a not. Oh, sorry, 15th is Swansea were 16. They will win some and lose some, but you would very much back us to go there and get the job done. Like it's going to be the only change I think we're realistically going to be talking about is entirely dependent on Patrick Bamford being fit. As it stands now, I'm probably going to say it will be Pirou up front, and the rest of the team remains unchanged. Outside of any other team news, I do think the interesting thing for this one will be to look at the substitutions, because following that is Leicester on a Friday night.
Yeah, and that is obviously an enormous game.
So I wonder if we see a couple of substitutions a bit earlier on if we are in a decent enough position.
Yeah, I mean, in the cup game again, players were tired. They'd done some rotation, but once Somerville and Rutter came on, they looked like they did not know what to do with them. So you're just hoping for that to happen again, really. And it happens from the start, and you can get a couple of goals up early. That'd be great. But again, it's like the Swansea game. We're better than them, but it's away from home. They're not a terrible side. So it's got the potential to be a very difficult game.
Yeah, just looking at it, they've only lost 3 home games this season. Won 8, drawn 4, lost 3. So it is a solid record.
They're a good home side.
Yeah. I suppose the flip side to it is it's it's an early morning start. You'll have travelled the day before.
Yeah, they've already confirmed that's the way Leeds have been doing it. They've been going the day before, and most of the time not even coming back the same day, having another stay over.
To be honest, for where we were, there is part of one wonders if we could have stayed at used someone else's training ground for.
Casey, your domestic geography is a lot better than mine. Where's Loughborough?
It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, no, it's probably a little, but like somewhere like that.
Because my other thought is from there using St George's Park.
Yeah, maybe
because you're not a million miles from there.
Is that Burton?
It's Burton, yeah. So you are going north a bit, but you're sort of at least staying in the area and built-in hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and built-in Wonder Kid scouting.
Yeah.
Don't even sign them, just nick them.
Put them in the van. Put them in the van.
What's that noise under the coach? Nothing. This is Stephen Gray. He sounds. I could swear that he definitely doesn't look like a Gray. No, he's a Gray.
Yeah. Long lost brother of Archie. But yeah, it's this ridiculous schedule that the cup has also kind of thrown up in terms of travel. But I suppose now that you've got this week out of the way, you've kind of got that part of your season over and done with. So looking through our remaining fixtures after this, any away games, Stoke, Millwall, Hull.
We definitely don't have to play Stoke away because we lost to Stoke away.
Oh, sorry.
Bamford missed that penalty.
Sorry, I've got to flip them over. Huddersfield, Wednesday, Watford, Coventry, Middlesbrough, QPR.
Yeah.
So your worst at that point is London.
Although, I mean, I know that we have actually finally picked up a couple of results there over the last couple of years, but still.
Yeah, but there's quite a lot that are fairly easy in terms of travel, and that's gonna be a fun running. What have we got? Was it 12? Was it 13 or 14 games we've got left?
We have played 32, so 14.
Yeah, 14 to go.
Yeah.
And we've won,
especially if West Brom could do us a favour on the Friday night. If Southampton dropped any points and we were to win this, suddenly you're in a very strong position. Especially then, I suppose then it's just that Tuesday night becomes massive. Although they're both winning on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
like on Tuesday night, Ipswich have got Rotherham at home and Southampton have got Hull at home. They're both winning them. Ipswich's game on Saturday is Swansea away, and based on what I saw on Tuesday, I don't hold much hopes for Swansea doing out.
No. You can only hope. But again, like you say, the Championship does weird things.
Yeah. Control the controllables, win at Plymouth.
I mean, look, if you look at it this way, we've shown we can win 7 in a row. Now we just need to do it 2 more times.
Yeah.
Easy.
Simply do it thrice. Hell, I mean, we win you win your next 14 games, you might even win the league. It's not going to happen, but one of those games is Leicester. So you would only be 9 points behind at that point. And then if you win 14 in a row, you'll probably do it. We're not going to win 14 in a row, but would be nice.
Not with that attitude, we're not.
Yeah, I'm fine with that attitude. Alex has just messaged me. He's gone for a 2-1 win. Despite everything, it's a long away trip. I have to go back to my pessimism. I'm going to say 2-2.
I'm going to say 2-0 win.
2-0 win. I will tweet out Connie's prediction when I get it. I said I was going to do that for Alex's before the runs again. I think I forgot, but he did. We do have the message from before. He went for a 3-1 win, so he got 2 points like the rest of us. So if we're 10-11, that basically makes us, the bookies have got us, that's basically with an over-round, a dead-on 50-50 shot at Leeds getting promoted. Right now, are you more or less than 50% confident?
I'm pretty confident, to be fair. You know, I don't want to dig too much into Southampton and the run they went on, because it was a fantastic. There is no way of, you know, there was a lot of you look at some of the teams they played, but like if you've gone unbeaten in, what was it in the league, 22 unbeaten,
25 unbeaten, 22 in the league is what I think it was.
So you've nigh on played everyone in the division at that point. It's a fairly good spread.
There was a weird statistical thing. They did only beat like 2 teams in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because they all kept dropping down one just as they played. So it was a weird statistical thing. But it is a really, if you get that many good results in a row, you're doing well.
Yeah. I suppose as I look through our fixtures that left to play, you just can't help but go, we still have to play Leicester and Southampton on the last day, and they are going to be 2 ridiculously important games.
That Southampton game. Can you remember when we got beat 1-0 by Sheffield United in the season where we didn't go up?
Yeah.
Where Chris Basham scored. And the build-up for that, it felt like, even like on Sky, they were talking about it like it was first v second in the Premier League. They really bigged it up like the most massive game. And there is every chance that if we go into that game and both teams, if it comes down to that game, basically, for who gets second, that will be, in terms of build, in terms of anything, as big a game in terms of build-up as I've heard Leeds have, outside of like what the Champions League semi.
I mean, certainly in terms of its importance, it's
a playoff final.
It's
if it comes to it.
Well, the odd thing to say is it's Bristol Rovers at home on the you know, it's very much going to be in that mold of.
It's Bristol Rovers at home if we were playing Swindon.
Yeah. But just in terms of the outcome of the game, looking at, because there is a very good chance that game is winner goes up.
Winner take all. Winner take all.
The end is here.
Reference for 4 people there.
You know, it's going to be huge. Southampton are going to do well to the end of the season still. Leicester are going to just romp the league at this point. And I think we will do really well as well. Like, we are going to lose a game in there. Like, it's going to happen. But you look at how we've played since January and just think that there is no reason we can't continue that.
There's certainly not to fear, is there?
Well, there's a trip to there's a game against Millwall, but
In fact, right, our home record against Millwall lately isn't bad, and like we won 3-0 there. Ipswich won 4-0 there on Wednesday.
I just met the people coming.
Oh yeah, well that's not something to fear. It's just something to avoid.
Yeah, it's one of those where I look at quite a few of the teams we're playing against, and like, yeah, Middlesbrough, good team, Hull, good team, like Sunderland, what anyone in there, but you just think we can beat them, like we are better than them.
Yeah, it's weird feeling like that, isn't it? But you're looking at all of these games, and there's basically, other than Leicester and Southampton, you look at all of them and go, should win that.
Yeah,
and Leicester, you'd say we're at home, so they should win that, and Leicester and Southampton we'll see. Depends who shows up on the day.
Yeah.
I think that 10 to 11, if you'd have asked me to just guess a price, what do you reckon we are? That's exactly what I'd have said. I'd have gone an each. I am like, so 50, because it doesn't matter how good we are and how much we are one of the 3 best sides in the league, and Ipswich are the 4th at the minute. And if they got going again, maybe they'd be able to turn it into the 4 best sides in the league again. But it wouldn't matter if we went into those playoffs looking at it and going, well, we're the best side in these playoffs. I wouldn't be confident in the playoffs because it's Leeds in the playoffs. So right now I am about dead on 50-50.
Yeah, it's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
As you said, control the controllables, win your games, and hope someone does you a favour.
And hope for the championship to do championshipy things.
Yeah, big up the Swans.
Because that is one thing. If these games were the other way around, and Ipswich had just gone to Swansea and won 4-0, if we were then playing Swansea the next game at the Liberty, you'd be there going, they'll turn up in this one, won't they? They'll be. That is what we're like as a fan base, and I'm sure that's what Ipswich fans are saying now. Look, did you see how shit they were against Leeds? I bet they're really good against us. But there's like, I mean, I think Ipswich. I didn't see the game, but I just saw people talking about it. Apparently, Ipswich did do that thing again. They were 3-0 up in no time from like 0.4 xG. Like, he's like, going, well, and I'd have to see the goals as to whether they got lucky or whether it was great finishing, because it's either really good skill or fortunate. But yeah, I reckon that will do us. I don't think there's anything news-wise. The 21's got a very good draw, 1-1 against Arsenal, which is a good draw, and they're already through in the Premier League Cup, but they won their game against Luton. I think that is everything.
Yeah.
Oh, to add, Thursday?
No, I think we got it all.
Nice one. So yeah, I will tweet out Connor's prediction when I get hold of it. I'm away this weekend, so I'll probably just be sat in a corner on my phone watching the Leeds game, which will look weird if we score and look even worse if we don't. So yeah, that will do us for episode 251. I've been Jack.